Hello, everyone. Can everyone hear me? Yes. Okay. Can everyone see me? Hear me and see me? Okay. So welcome, everyone. My name is Peggy. Um, I will be the host for today's webinar. So is my voice clear right now? If not, please let me know. I will wait for everybody's response for a few seconds, then I will go ahead and start. Okay, perfectly clear. Um, okay, so the screen right now I'm sharing should be the welcoming screen for everyone. So I will just throw out some reminders before we start. So yes, the microphone for everyone will be muted throughout the whole webinar for today. And also the session is already recorded right now. It's being recorded and I will send out the material, the presentation slide and also the recording link afterwards. So if you miss anything, you can go back and watch the recording afterwards. Yes, so before I go ahead and start, here are some tips on how you can navigate Teams. This is for anybody just joining us or using Teams for the first time. So if you have any questions during the presentation, during my demo later on, you should be able to utilize or use the chat icon on top on your screen or on your phone to let me know. And also I have my team member Vicky here with me. She will be online to help me answer all the questions that you guys may have during the webinar. Yes, she's saying hi right now in the chat. And also, if you guys are using the mobile phones, you should find the chat in the more options icon down below in the menu. Yes, so, and of course, I will save around 5 to 10 minutes at the end of our webinar to answer any questions you might have. So if you have any questions during the presentation, just don't hesitate to let me know or to let us know during in the chat. And also, I believe we have the live captions option turned on. So in case you don't find it, you can see it in the more icon on top in the menu bar as well. You can turn on the show live captions for you if English is not your first language. It might be very helpful for you. Okay, so let us go ahead and get started for today's webinar. So the main topic that we will be discussing, our main goal is to help you discover how you can enhance your productivity using Quire. So if you're joining us today, a lot of chances are you're already using Quire to manage your work or your personal tasks. But if this is your first time here or hearing about Quire or just joining Quire, signing up for a Quire account, you don't have to worry either. I will guide you through the details on how you can leverage some of the features in Quire. So again, if you have any questions, you can let us know in the chat. Okay, so yeah, before I go ahead and start explaining all the tips, please let us know how you are optimizing your workflow, how you are currently managing your workflow right now, what's your method and what's your skills or uh, the house. So I'm curious about how everyone is usually handling their work and what's your approach. So for me, again, I'm the community manager at Quire. So if you are using Quire for a while, if you have already reached out to us using emails or support or message icon, it will be me or our team member to help you answer. So my daily job is to go through the emails and feedbacks for customers. daily, and most of the time I get feedbacks from a lot of users from different sources. So in my daily work, I will also have a lot of meetings during the week. I usually write down the notes or the to-dos on my notebook on paper, and sometimes I will keep some of my quick like to-dos or tasks on sticky notes and paste them around my desk. So this is how I usually manage my work. So let us know in the chat how you are using your methods or your approach to manage your work right now. Okay, so this will bring me to my next slide. You can see that the biggest challenges with how I manage my work is that everything is actually spread across different places. This made it very tough for me to like see clearly on the progress of each task, since the work and the people involved in my work were often disconnected. And also like monitoring or like prioritizing my tasks was also very challenging for me. So even though I have my like deadlines, if even though I know my deadlines for my tasks, it was very hard for me to like keep track of the due dates and the timelines. So my main point is like I needed a single space to help me view the deadlines and organize my tasks. So, and also there's another problem, another challenge, which is like when it came to like decision making or really doing the task executioning, I sometimes make mistakes because a lot of the information that I needed was missing and spread it across all the different places. So this led for me to like redoing tasks and repeating my work and repeating the unnecessary steps, which made like wasted a lot of time for me. And then this will bring us to my main topic for today, which is how Quire can actually help me to solve my problems and to help boost my productivity. So before I go into the key features that help me solve these challenges, I want to quickly break down how our Quire hierarchy works inside Quire. So this part is actually more for the first time users for Quire. So with all the meetings and daily emails and all the marketing projects, like the social media campaigns or the product launches for Quire, I actually needed a tool to help me keep everything organized. So you can see that in this slide, the hierarchy of Quire. So there's three main levels with the organization at the top, which in this case you can see is the blue part, the marketing department. You can set up organization as your department or as your entire company, which works on projects together. So it's basically like a collection of your projects. And then underneath that organization, we will have projects. So in this case, on my slide, you can see that projects are the dark green boxes. There are different campaigns or like meetings for our marketing departments. And then within like each projects that I have, we will have tasks. So you can view tasks as the basic actions for your projects. So if you're new to Quire, when you're setting up Quire, you can set up different projects underneath your main organization for each campaign or meetings that you have or your team is working on or what you need to be tracking. And after setting that up, we will be adding, we will start to add like all the tasks that for each project and invite all my team members to join in. So the team members can start to like assign tasks and then they can pick up what they need to work on and add further details as they go. So I will share like more of the workspace, how it will look like later on for you to see. But yeah, basically this is the Quire hierarchy. So this way, like everyone will stay on the same page and keep track of their assigned tasks. So at the bottom, you will see for the gray boxes, there are actually comments. So with comments and also another feature, which is the approval feature that I will be talking about later, team members can get instant feedback and keep things like moving forward until the entire project is completed or done. So yeah, my point will be that there's no like right way to set up your organizations or projects in Quire. This is how just I will be setting up Quire for myself and for my team. So, and I just wanted to like give you a visual idea on how the Quire hierarchy will look like and how you can set up your Quire before you really get started and managing your work inside Quire. Okay. So for this slide, I will like go ahead and start sharing on very important concept and the features about Quire. So from day one, actually Quire has been all about breaking things down. Like we were one of the first project management tools out there that to like let you break your parent tasks down into unlimited subtasks. So you can see on the screen our main feature, our main core concept in Quire is actually our nested task list. And now you might be thinking, like, what's so special about this nested task list? And how is it so different from a regular to-do list out there or your pen and paper? So if you ever like planned something like a family dinner or a work event or even a social media campaign for work, you may know like how quickly those small details can pile up and then suddenly what seemed like very simple and easy becomes a massive project which involved like tons of people and tasks. So this is why we needed Quire to help you break your work down into small and manageable tasks. Okay, so now I will go ahead and share my screen, switch my screen into the real Quire workspace. So now you will probably see the Quire workspace that I have set up. This is a demo workspace, and this is a demo project that I built. So basically, you can see that this is a project, a list. You can see that I'm using the nested task list to help me break down this event planning project. So if you're new for Quire, the first thing you will do is probably go ahead and add tasks. Now, for this view, you can already see that I have already built out some tasks. But if you're new, you can go ahead and click on the add icon at the top right corner for your workspace, and you will be able to add tasks there. Okay, so for this, you can add tasks right here. And then afterwards, if you want to add subtask, for example, if I want to add a subtask underneath my pre-planning task, I can go ahead and click on this add subtask icon right here. And then, for example, I can type in, for example, book a venue like this and press enter. It will then jump into the next task. So you can, like a regular to-do list, you can just start typing and breaking down your tasks for your big project. Okay, and then so yeah, this is the nested task list. And then you can see that while I'm keeping the big picture here, you can also zoom into like a specific task. You can use the context menu by right-clicking on the task and then going into zoom in. So this way it will help you like see the details and more specific tasks that you want to focus on. And you can go back and zoom out to see the big picture. So with everything like organized, it will be much easier to spot the priorities and figure out what tasks you need to put your energy in and put your resources in. So yeah, basically this is the nested task list. And on the right hand side, you will see that there's the detail panel as well. Here you will be able to add assignees and also due dates and all the descriptions. And again, I mentioned the comments earlier. The comments can be found in the detail panel as well. So here, team members can leave their comments or more details to have a discussion for that tasks. So right now, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to let us know in the chat. Okay, so if again, you can see that for this task list, it will go into my next issue, which is like if I'm juggling through multiple projects at the same time, even with this list, even with the organized subtask I have here, it can seem like very overwhelming. So this is only a project, this is only a demo project, but if in real life, the project list can get on to like overwhelming a big long list. That's why we created my task for Quire. So that brings me to my next topic, which is a personalized space to bring all your tasks in from all your projects into like one clear view and on how it works. So bring me back to my presentation list. So yeah, you can see that for my task, after our goal has been broken down into different projects, here for my task, we have a central spot for all of my to-dos. This is a place where it helped me to keep track of everything. So it pulls all the tasks from every project um, that is assigned to me from across different projects into this one view, and it makes it easier to help me manage my to-dos in one single spot. And also in this view, it can help me quickly identify like what's is urgent and what is important, and help me to tackle things like more efficiently. So no task will like slip through my cracks, and you will be able to see like track each task progress and stay on top of each work. Okay, so back to my project workspace. If you're new to Quire, the My Task can be found in the sidebar on the left-hand side. So you can go ahead and click here. Or another way, quick tip, is to use the keyboard shortcut. So the keyboard shortcut is Command or Control B. It will allow you to blink search, and then you can type in, for example, My Task, and then you can choose My Tasks. Then it will help you to jump into My Task directly. So in My Task, actually it consists of the tasks that it were created by you and not assigned to any other people. These tasks will have due dates or start dates that are set to them. And also tasks that are assigned to you only will also show up in My Task. And lastly, the task that will show up here is also the inbox task, which is the tasks that are directly created in this view. Okay, so here you can see this is the task, My Task view, and here is a lot of tasks that are grabbed from all the projects that I'm working on. And here you will be able to see next to the task name, there will be the project. When you hover, there will be the project name show here. So you can get more details. So again, this view like pulls all the tasks that is around across different projects into this view and making it much more easier for you to see what you need to be focusing on in one single spot. So you don't need to click on all the different projects and switch to the different projects. And in this view, if you find this list a little bit long, you can utilize the filter bar at the top. You can see that here on the screen. There's actually a filter bar. You can expand the filter bar and then use this filter to help you group. So for example, I use a lot of this group by project. This will help me like group them by project. And I will see which project has the most tasks that I need to focus on. And another grouping I like to use a lot is the group by date. This will help me like see what task has been overdue and hasn't been taken care of. Sorry, excuse me. And then I can utilize the filter bar again to sort them a lot. I use the sort by priority a lot. So when other people or other team members set an urgent priority, I can see like which tasks are urgent after grouping them by date and then sort by priority. So this is like a handful, like a helpful tip to use while you're using my task. So again, my tasks, you can change them into different views. For example, here right now it's the list view. And at the top, you can find the table view here. And then you can also switch them to the timeline view and calendar view. And lastly, the time tracker view. Okay, so another quick tip for using my task is that when you are, for example, if I'm using when I'm inside another project, I can use the keyboard shortcut M to help me add my task directly from here. So I don't need to switch to my task. I can start typing the to-dos, and this way it will add a task into my task as a personal task, which doesn't belong to any project. Excuse me. I'm coughing a lot, so. Okay. So for my next feature, the key feature for Quire is our sections. So instead of adding tasks, you can create sections. And you might be wondering, like, what's the difference between section and a task? And a section are like tasks, but the texts are bolder and larger, which can give you like a clear visual difference for your task list. And how to help me actually is that it made it easier for me to categorize the different groups within the project that I have. And also it helped me like navigate through the specific phases and categories. Okay, so back to my workspace. Here I will demonstrate how you can turn a task into a section. The first way is to go into choose a task that you already added and then use the right click context menu, and then you will find the turn into sections in the more right here. And now you can see that the task is turned into a much bolder and larger text for you. So another way is to utilize the keyboard shortcut. It's the Command plus S, like this. Or for Windows, it's Control plus S. And when you press the keys again, it will turn the task section back into the task again. And if you want to like add the section directly, you can go ahead and click on the plus icon at the top and then add section here. So for example, I can just type in section and then press enter. And then I can start typing my task like this. So it's very easy. Yeah. And right now, another feature that I want to mention for the section is that for a lot of times I want to track the project progress, I will usually change my project list into the board view like this. And you can see that for the default categorization for the board view is actually by status. And a great tip here is to press on the board icon again, and then you can find the shuffle board. This way you can shuffle the board categories, the columns into sections. So here you can get a visualization, the visual categorization by sections. So for my case, for this event planning project, I turned the milestones into sections. So for example, on the screen, you can see pre-planning and all the things that I need to do underneath pre-planning, and then planning and coordination and all that stuff. So this is a great tip if you are a visual person. You want to see all the categorizations in the board view. Sorry about that. I keep coughing. So yeah. Okay. So speaking of my next feature, speaking of like helping me categorize my task list, the next thing that I want to talk about is the Quire sublist. So I'm not sure like anyone is experiencing this, but you might notice that after a while, your project and task list might grow longer and longer over time. And as the work piles up, it will become very hard for you to concentrate on what needs to get your attention right now. So in Quire, you can actually create sublists to help you solve this issue. Sublists are like tabs that you find on your browser. So in the project, you can create sublist. And then sublists can also be created not only in the project, but for your My Task view, which I talked about earlier. And then you can take the task from your main list and move them to the newly created sublist. This will give you like a clearer view on help you focus on the task that needs your attention or what you need to be focusing on for that moment. And with a sublist, you can organize your tasks by specific context. So for example, you can make a sublist called today, and you can add all the tasks that you need to like tackle for that day and add them into that sublist. And when you create a sublist, there's also another option for you to choose from, which is you can set it up by a predefined filter. I will show you how you can do that later, but this means that if a task meets a certain criteria, it will automatically go into that sublist, so you don't need to add it manually every time. So I'll go ahead and switch back to my workspace and change into the list view. Okay, so how you can go ahead and create a sublist is by clicking on this icon right here. And then, for example, I can type in my sublist name and then go ahead and change all these color or icons like I want. The first way to add the task is to click them manually like this, and then go ahead and create. You will see that the task that I have chosen has been already added to this sublist. And this way I can focus on this sublist mainly and not that get distracted by the main list view. And another way is to add tasks to your sublist is by choosing the tasks first and then dragging them into the sublist like this. And also the other thing that I mentioned earlier, which is setting a predefined filter for your sublist, is by going to the create icon again, and then I will type in another sublist name, for example, like this. And then here you can find the filter task with preset conditions. So for example, for this case, I want to set up a sublist that help me like focus on the task that I need to concentrate on for the next month. I can choose filter and then go into date within a date range and then next 4 weeks. So this way, when I go ahead and click create, you can see that the tasks with the due dates that are due within the next 4 weeks, which is next month, will show up right here. So whenever I come to work every day, I can switch to this project and go into that sublist directly, so I will not get like distracted by the main list view right here. Okay. So the next feature I want to talk about is our Peekaboo feature. This also boosts my productivity while using Quire a lot. So a lot of users aren't aware of this feature. It's kind of hidden, but just like its name, it's Peekaboo. Peekaboo acts like a snooze button for your task, just like in Gmail. So it's perfect for tasks that aren't like urgent enough, or you want to delete it, but you can't. It still needs to like be completed sometime in the future, or if the task has important details. But you want to hide the task for now from your project or from your My Task. So you can also set a reminder on when you want them to like pop back into your main list. Okay, so switching back to the project my project, I can show you this feature inside the My Task view. So for example, these tasks aren't that urgent right now. I can choose them and then go ahead and use the context menu like this, and then choose Peekaboo. And you can see that for this feature, I can set I want to show how many days later, or I can set it to never show again. So when I go ahead and click on show 3 days later, it will disappear from my main view, and then it will show up 3 days later. And we will send out, the Quire system will also send out notifications. And you can also find the notifications right here as well after 3 days. But if you have if you set it wrong, or if you want to find the Peekaboo tasks right now, you can actually go ahead into the filter bar that I mentioned earlier, and then click on the status icon right here. You can find the Peekaboo tasks right here. So you can see again, these are the tasks that I have snoozed or Peekaboo earlier, and it will show in the detail panel until when it will pop back into my list view. And also you can use the more options right here to make it re-show. Okay. So for my next feature, one of the productivity challenges that I was experiencing was actually the lack of immediate feedback from our team members. So after they review their tasks, review my tasks, I needed response from them immediately, so I can like go ahead and move on to my tasks. So a lot of times I felt like I was working the work that was disconnected from the reviewers. So to solve these problems, we have our approval system inside Quire. So this feature allows you to like establish a task review system or approval process in Quire within your projects. And it will like make sure that the team members can go ahead and verify the tasks and make sure that it met their quality standards before moving on to the next step. It also helped me identify the mistakes early on and help me prevent the minor issues from turning into a bigger problem later. And also, I want to point out that in Quire, with the approval system, we have a pretty neat feature which allows you to like create multiple approval categories, and I can show you how you can do that right now. So I will go ahead and switch to my project again. This time I'll go ahead and switch to the product launch project. And you can see that in this project, I have a lot of tasks that needs to be approved for this case. I can go ahead and send this task into the approval request by clicking on the right click context menu and then send it approval request like this. And go by and choose the default category or the other categories that I have created. So when you go ahead and send that task into approval request, you can see that there's an icon show in the main panel, and also there will be buttons for the reviewers, approvers for the task to click on. So there are 3 different buttons, which are the approval, the request changes, and the reject button. So when the reviewers see this button or see this task has been sent a request, they can go ahead and check on how the task that has been working on. After checking, they can go ahead and approve, or they can request a change. So when they click on that button, they will see this pop up, and then they can type in all the details or the modifications that they want you to change before approving right here, and it will send out a comment to this task. So this will also pop up when they click on the reject button. They can enter all the reasons why they think that the task didn't meet the standard or whatnot. They can type it right here, and then it will also send out a comment for you. And you will receive the comment in the notifications, and then go ahead and move on with this task. So another feature that I was mentioning, which is the creating another category, is by going into this project options right here. You will find properties, and then by scrolling down, you will find approvals. So for example, I can add a new approval category for example, for marketing purposes. And I can go ahead and set different requesters. So I can set only to admins only, or I can select it members like this. Or for approvers, I can also do the same thing. So when I go ahead and select the selected members, only these selected members can do the approval action for the tasks in this specific category. So when I go and save and go back to my main list, you can see that when I go ahead and choose this and then send it to approval request, I can choose from the different categories that I have created, like right here. Okay, so right now, these has been the main features that I want to talk about for today. And if you have any questions for me or for my team member Vicky here, you can let us know in the chat right now. I'll go ahead and try to answer them. Okay. So I saw a question in the Q&A section. So this question, I will answer this first right now. So the question is like, how do we create recurring tasks or edit existing ones that are recurring? So I can show you right now before I go ahead, go on with my demonstration. So you should see the screen for the demo project. To create a recurring task, you can go ahead and choose a task first, and then go to the detail panel, and then click on the date icon right here. So right now I have a date set, but when you don't, you will see the add date icon. And in this panel, you will see the show more options. You can set it to repeat. So in this, you can choose how you would like the task to recur. So for example, I want to set it to repeat every Wednesday, and then I can go ahead and click save. So whenever this task is done, for example, when I go ahead and set it to complete, the newly created task by our system, the due date will be December 11th, which is next Wednesday. And to edit the recurring date, you can go ahead and click on the add date again, and then change it however you like right here. So I hope that I answered your question clearly, but if not, let us know it again in the chat. Mhm. Okay, so I will try to pick out some questions in the chat, but I believe like Vicky, she's helping me answer, but I see a question right now, which is, can we add other costs to a task? So yes, again, I will show you in the workspace right here. Actually, you can add cost by adding custom fields. So for now, you can see that in this product launch project that I have, which is in the list view. But when you switch to the table view right here, you will find that I can actually add more columns and more custom fields to my project. So for example, I can go ahead and click on this field, this plus icon, and then add a new field. And then for this case, to add a cost, I can name it cost. And then the default option, the default type is currency. But if you don't want to add cost, if you want to like track estimated time or whatever you want to track, you can change it into what you would want to. So for this case, for tracking costs, I will set it to currency and then change the symbol or whatever you want, and then click save. So right now the column has been added. So for example, for this video task, I can add a cost right here. So for example, $50, it will show up like this. It will show up in the table view, but if you want to see it in the detail view, it will show up down right here as well. So yeah, if you are not if table view is not available for you, you can actually add another custom fields by going into the detail view as well, and then add or edit view field right here. This panel will pop up, and then you can add a new field right here. So this will take you to the same spot, but with different options. So I hope that I answered this question clearly, but if not, you can let us know in the chat. Okay, I'll go ahead to my next slide and try to talk about my next point. And then if you still have any questions, we will have 5 to 10 minutes saved for later for the Q&A later on. So I will try to answer them later on. But yeah, for now, I also like want to mention some of the quick tips inside Quire to help you like enhance collaboration with your team members. So the first thing that I want to bring up is to how you can communicate with your team members, which is to mention them or to tag them using the @ sign. So a lot of a lot of users actually didn't know about this, but you can actually type in the @ sign in the description area or in the comments. So this way, when you choose the member, they will actually receive notifications via their emails or in their notification panel. So you can use this feature to tag someone and then remind them to do or check out the task and respond immediately. So this is a quick tip. And another tip is to refer your work in Quire. So a lot of tasks, when a lot of times when you add a task, it can become like complicated and you want to refer one thing to another. So actually there are two ways to refer your task. One way is to use the dependency feature, and another way is to use the reference feature. So adding dependencies will let you see what needs to happen before or after each task. So it will make it easier to plan things out. It will help you like organize your tasks by showing them in order they need to happen. So when you set a task dependency one to another, Quire will help you visualize the links between them in the timeline view. So you can see visually like which tasks need to be completed first, and then which can only start afterwards this one is completed. So a quick way I will show you real quick is right here is go to the timeline view, and then you will see you can add a dependency by hovering over this taskbar icon and then drag it to another task to link them together. Yeah, this is only an example. So right now, this line is shown in red, which means that it's blocked. The due dates might be conflicted between one another. So it's a visualizing way to show you like you need to pay attention on these tasks and maybe rearrange the due dates. So another way to add dependency or to see the dependency is in the tree view, the list view in the detail panel. So when I go ahead into the detail panel, I can find the dependency icon right here. I can go ahead and click on the add icon and add a successor to this task or a predecessor. So it will allow the tasks to link together and to be viewed in the detail panel as well. So back to my presentation slide, another way to refer is to actually refer the task by using the sharp sign, the hashtag sign. You can use this sign in the description area or in the comment area. So when you go ahead and type in the sharp sign, a list on the screen, it will show up for all the tasks within that project. And you can use the keyboard arrow keys to choose the task you want to refer and click save. So after that is done, when you go ahead and see the description or the comment, you can actually click on the link and it will jump to the task that is referred. So for my next and last part for the webinar is actually a lot of users are wondering like what is new in Quire, what we have been working on. So I want to share some of the things that we have been working on for the past few months. So the first thing is that we were working on the two-way integration with Google Calendar. So you can find that we already added the instant sync, the one-way sync between Google Calendar and Quire, but now a two-way sync is available. So you can find it in the Quire app directory, or if you're inside the Quire workspace, just go ahead and click on the profile picture, and then you will find my apps right there. And in the menu, you can choose the Google Calendar two-way sync, and then sync up your Quire list into Google. So when you go ahead and done that, all the updates, whether it's done in Quire or whether it's done in Google Calendar, it will sync and instantly appear in another. And another thing that we have been working on is actually enhancing our filter, our notifications. So we added a filter and a group option for the notification panel. So right now you can actually filter the notifications by different options. So for example, you can filter by assigned to me. So this way, all the tasks that are assigned to me will show up in the notifications right there. And also in the notification panel, you can separate the newly sent in notifications by different scopes. So such as all the notifications or the unread ones, or even only the approval requested ones. So for the last part for my webinar, before I go ahead and jump into the Q&A, before I wrap up, I want to share some exciting news, what we are currently working on. Yeah, so I am very happy to announce that we are currently working on a what you see is what you get editor. So right now, if you have been using Quire for a while, you might know that we are using Markdown to help you stylize your text for your task or your descriptions. So when we go ahead and launch that what you see, what you get editor sometime in the future, it will make it more easier for you to write in Quire. And you won't need to like remember all those markdown shortcuts anymore. You can just select your text and use the menu or use the keyboard shortcut to stylize your text. And also we will be introducing a brand new way to view your projects. So again, I have mentioned we have a list view, a board view, a timeline view, a calendar view. We will be adding a document view. So you can think of it as a brand new space for your project, for your team, and for yourself to note down the important notes for your tasks. So it will like work as like a central hub for your key informations or for your ideas for your tasks. And then we will also be introducing a chat feature. So you don't need to like jump between different apps later on to communicate with your team members. With everything right inside Quire, you can have all your information in one place, and you can focus on the things that needs to be done without any distractions. So if you're interested in all these new features, please stay tuned to our new announcements later on. We will be announcing our new features through our emails and our social media platforms. So go ahead and follow us on Twitter, on X or Facebook or Instagram. Yeah, okay, so right now, it's our time for the Q&A. If you have any questions, you can let us know in the chat and I will go through them very quickly and do my best to answer them. So, okay, I prepared some questions that we have received from our users, and I hope can give some more information for you while you're using Quire. So a lot of our users wonder, like, is there a way to see all the tasks across one organization in one place? So actually there is. You can use the panorama view in the organization. So I will go ahead and switch to the Quire workspace right now. So first you need to go ahead into the organization view, and then you will find the list tab right here. So this way you will see all the tasks inside the projects inside this organization in this view. So this is a quick way for you, like you don't need to switch between the different projects and save you a lot of hassle. And if you are, for example, like a manager, you want to have a bird eye view on all the tasks that are added to the project, you can use this view as well. Again, you can utilize or leverage the filter bar on top to group the project, group the tasks by priority or by dates. And also in this view, the different views are available as well. So you can change it into table view, timeline view, and also other views. Okay, so another question that we get a lot from our users is that, is there a way to organize projects from different organizations? So the last question that I mentioned is, I want to see all the projects, all the tasks from one organization. But for this user, they want to see projects from different organizations. So yes, there is. Actually, you can use smart folders. So let me switch back to the Quire workspace. For smart folders, to create one, you can go ahead and click on the add icon right here and click on add smart folder. So smart folders, after naming it, so for example, smart folder, you can select different projects from different organizations like this. So for example, I can select this, and then I can select another like this and go ahead and create. So this way I will see the projects from different organizations in one view, and then again see a bird eye view on all the tasks that I want to manage and organize, and utilize again the filter bar on top to help me organize and group my tasks. And another question we get a lot is that for our new users, when they are signing up for Quire, they are wondering, like, is there any template that can be used as reference when setting up their first project? So yes and no. We don't have any templates for you to directly copy a project inside Quire, but we actually made some sample projects for you, and it can give you give our first time users on an idea of how you can set up your Quire workspace or project. And after this webinar, when I go ahead and send out the links for everyone, I will include those sample projects for everyone. So we have created some for construction projects or for the work breakdown methods, agile. You can click on those links and see how the Quire projects can be set up for those use cases. But of course, if you have a specific way of how you want Quire to set up, you can let us know. Or if you want to share them with other people, you can let us know by messaging us or sending them to feedback@quire.io. And for our last question that we get a lot from our users is that, what is the best way to reach out to us when you need help? So Actually, in the Quire workspace, you can find the question mark icon at the top. You can use that to message us in the Quire workspace and send us any screenshot you want to share with us, or if you find any issues or bugs or any questions that need to answer, you can message us through there. And our team will be online to help you. And also, if you have any questions, you can send them to our email, feedback@quire.io. Okay, so lastly, here are some additional learning resources that you can read on your own, if you prefer to learn by yourself. So we have a community, feedback community. You can also find this community in the question mark icon that I have mentioned earlier. A lot of users have already asked their question there. And also we have a tutorial pages, our blogs, and our guides. So with the guide, it's pretty detailed. You can find all the features listed there. But again, if you can't find the answers to your questions, you can always reach out to us through email or the message icon. And we also have a YouTube channel. We saved and uploaded all of our previous webinars over there. If you are interested in the topics that we have covered before, you can go ahead to our YouTube channel and find them there. So yeah, this is all the time that we have for today for our webinar. And I want to share my appreciation. Thank you for joining us today. Please help us by sharing some of the feedback for today's webinar and help us fill out the survey. Vicky has already shared the link in the chat. It will only take 2 minutes, 3 minutes to help us. I will go through them one by one and see how I can improve for my next webinar. So yeah, that's it for today. Thank you again for joining us today, and I will see you next time. Bye.